yes, I do have an official announcement, boys.
Here we go.
All right. Let's go.
Welcome, everyone, to Squadcast Episode 3 with a very special guest, Bass Blaster. Jacob, how you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good, guys. Nice to see you guys.
Oh, yeah. Let's go, baby. We're so excited to have you on. Talking about our holiday specials today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pumpkin Man, a very destructive Christmas. Absolute fantastic duo, especially Pumpkin Man. Let me just say thank you all for watching.
Thank you.
Right now,
5,000 guys.
5,000 views, unbelievable. And remember, we posted that November 1st. We missed Halloween, and it's only been a couple months old. It's crazy growth. Thank you all so much.
For those of you that don't know, our next movie after that, our holiday Christmas special, this guy right here played the one and only Santa Claus.
Santa Claus, yes. He was actually a late addition, which I'm very glad we put him in there because, Jacob, so your first role as Bass Blaster. We'll get back to that. But
yeah.
From that first role to Santa, huge growth. Carson can attest to that.
Yeah, I mean, you had the amount of dialogue that you had to juggle too. Yeah. I mean, that considered as well. You just completely transformed. I mean, everyone has to kind of have that first experience to get to that next level. I feel like, but you just made it so seamless. Like each and every time I watch back A Very Destructive Christmas, just speaking from my perspective, like I'm just so blown away by your performance as Santa Claus.
No, seriously, it's a highlight of the.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
It really brings it to the next level, which I'm glad we did.
I was gonna say naturally on camera, I'm usually in person. It takes a bit to get going sometimes, especially on camera. I'm flubbing the lines. I'm not, but I kind of get into the character. You get kind of used to it. And you kind of keep pushing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I mentioned, though, in the last episode, there's, scenes that just sometimes you can't get at first. Like, how many times did we try the Spaceballs scene in Street 2 Evil Mind Boogaloo?
I think still now, that was 2-3 years old now, still our most takes. I think, over 30. It was bad.
Wow.
Yeah. So many that I, didn't even bother to edit bloopers. I have several compilations of bloopers in our archives, but yeah. Jacob, I think we've been so wrapped up on our success and all of our most memorable moments with you thus far, but can you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Who are you and why are you here?
Wait, this is not Joe Rogan? What's going on?
Who is Jacob Simon?
Well, Jacob Simon is someone who's always loved film. Star Wars, Marvel, DC, love comic books, all nerd culture, sports, but films have really inspired me. Like Goodfellas, the guy he's Italian. I'm not. I'm Irish, but I want to be Italian. But I love those movies.
Every other word out of his mouth is Martin Scorsese, rip your heart out.
But films have always inspired me. They mean a lot. Just going to a cinema with my friends and just sitting down and just watching a really fun, even a crappy film, is so much fun because you can just goof on it, and it brings people together. And I've, as a part of me, wanted to be an actor, but I don't have the skills or really the looks for it. I don't
know about that, man. You pulled off a great Santa, and we're looking forward to many future roles, I can imagine, right?
Looking forward to it.
I'm sure any longtime viewers know that Jacob's definitely a newcomer, and he's definitely becoming a staple, which we're very happy about.
And I'm honored to be a part of it.
Yes.
But I've known Carson for a while now. We know him through mutual friends. Shout out to Ian Freitenberg, Brandon
Freitenbergs, in case he sees this and gets mad.
But I didn't go. Listen, a lot of you guys started off doing YouTube. I never really did YouTube. I'd watch YouTube. I thought about doing different stuff when I was younger. I could do I love to mountain bike and hike, do basketball. My cousin and I was let's do a basketball channel. Let's do this. And I'm we'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, I mean, you've always kind of been an active guy.
Yeah, I love just being active. Doing something different. So when you guys gave me the call about doing Bass Blaster, I'm like, I'm going to be in a YouTube movie. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I've never done something like that.
Now, did you see our movies before this? Or
he would constantly send them to me over text. And I'm usually at the gym, I'm all right, I'll watch something at home,
Yeah, I didn't know about that. But I know at one point I actually had to, show him to get him to, see what we were about. I showed him Lost. We were at one of Ian, our mutual friend, that we had met through. I think it was actually through Brandon that we had met. Yeah. By the way, Brandon is sick today, so he had to sit this episode out. He will definitely be back for episode 4, but It was around Ian, again, at that one Brandon's birthday party that we met at. We'll get to that story later, but it was at one of Ian's more recent house parties that I was like, all right, Jacob, here is what we do. Yeah. And you saw Lost. Did you have any particular moments that you remembered from that?
From what I can remember, it's just, as a huge fan of the original Lost TV series, I love that show.
What are you talking about? We're not the original Lost series?
People hate the finale. I love the finale. It's very thought-provoking, but just watching what you guys did and saying, you know what? Some folks you watch on YouTube are like, yeah, you can tell they don't really care. You guys really care. Like, there is so much heart and soul in your craft. It's like it's an honor to be a part of it, because it's hard, because like a lot of movies, in my opinion, sometimes nowadays, they seem so over-reliant on CGI and just seem so fake and just...
And cash grabby, right?
Yeah, and just like, oh, let's just throw in Dwayne Johnson, who I'm a huge fan of, but like, throw him in, you'll get a $2 billion movie, you know? It's like, do something new, do something different. So when I saw some of you guys' films, I'm like, wow, these guys are really doing fun, interesting, new stuff, you know? And it's just fantastic stuff, honestly.
Yeah. So, as we mentioned, we brought you on as Bass Blaster.
Yeah.
When you got the call for that role, yes, putting it in formal terms, when you got the call that you would have a chance to play this role, what was that like from your perspective?
It was honestly, at first, I'm like, what in the heck is a Bass Blaster?
Yeah, to piggyback off question real quick, I was a director, so I should know this, but I don't. Did you know what you were doing in the movie? Did anyone tell you? I forget, honestly. Did anyone tell you what was happening?
At first, I was kind of not sure, but then Carson was telling me when I first came to Nate's place to help film.
Yep.
He's like, okay, so this is what we're doing. Like, this is like a group of like kind of goofy. It's like the beginning of James Gunn's Suicide Squad. There are a bunch of these quote unquote heroes who are cool and stuff, and they all die like absolute chumps.
Yep.
And at first, I'm like, okay, sold. Like, that's perfect. I'm like, I'll play this goofy guy. I think he's hot stuff. You know, like, oh, I'm totally gonna save the day. Dies like a complete idiot. You know, just perfect.
Jacob, you know what's hilarious though? You know, at first, like, when Nate presented this idea to me, I mean, obviously I'm not as familiar as many films as you guys are.
Yeah.
So I wasn't, like, completely understanding the concept until you explained it to me. Like, I was like, oh, man, we wanted to go for more character development. Why are we going to kill these guys off? But then you told me it's going to be funny deaths. I was like, okay, I can get behind that. I had no idea just how funny your death was going to be.
It's great.
Yours is a highlight. People love yours especially.
Get hit by that truck, I'm like, oh my god.
It just drives over a fence. Sunscreen, I'm sorry, I'm coming. I mean, if you guys have not seen it, I'm going to say for the second episode in a row, watch it right now.
Please
2347, Street Dude 3. It's actually not the second straight episode. I mentioned in the first Eternal Squadcast.
You did it, Jack. This is the third time in a row.
Third time.
Why haven't you watched it yet? We're almost to 3K for Street Dude 3.
We probably will be there.
Let's get the 5K.
Let's catch up to Pumpkin, man.
But I remember when you talked about, and the name, I was like, okay, a bass, when I hear, like, you think music, you know. And then Brandon's like, the joke is that you'll have... So they got me this t-shirt. I'm like, all right, it's a full-on black t-shirt. It's hotter than heck out. It's like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be sweating buckets, you know. And he goes, so there's a B on here, but it's going to fall off and make it look like it says Ass Blaster. And I'm like, people want to be thinking that's something else. I'm like, I don't know. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, that's hilarious. Like, this dude is this big tough guy thinking, oh yeah, I'm hot stuff. And it's like, bro's Ass Blaster, you know?
I have a really funny story about your character's origin. When I heard the names from Nate as well, because we obviously have long, extensive production meetings for our films. I mean, we had an analysis meeting for our movies before we even started recording this podcast episode.
We're very serious now.
But as for the drafting of Ass/Bass Blaster, right?
Yeah.
The first person I thought of, because we hadn't casted you yet, my buddy Karsten, who was serving in the military.
Another Karsten.
He was on tour. Karsten. It's a difference.
Oh, Karsten. Okay.
Very, very similar. But when we were in quarantine, there was a game that we liked to play a whole lot among us.
Up there, so there's turn for a second there.
Randomly, one day, picked his name as Ass Blaster, and our friend Emma just lost it. When she saw that, she was like, who's Ass Blaster? She's like, oh, that's me. And then she's like, just like, in her laugh, I cannot do it very well. But the point being, I was like, oh, that's perfect for Ass/Bass Blaster, because he already kind of was the preliminary version of that character. Of course, he was away serving. We thank him for his service right now. He's actually back home right 100%. Now. So thank you to Karsten for that. Your character has been served very well.
Yes,
Thank you. So I remember I told a couple of friends, I'm like, oh, who do you play in Street? Dude, I'm like, I'm a bass blaster, but becomes ass blaster. And a couple of girls who were friends were like, what does that mean? I'm like, no, that's nothing. It's not like my brother's like,
let me show you.
He's like, what kind of video is this? I'm like, no, it's not that type of video. It's just, it's a name,
It's great. It's all context.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So from that silly one-off character, right?
Yeah.
We definitely, your first acting, we definitely had a bit of a bumpy road. That's okay.
Yeah.
You improved hell a lot. Let's talk about A Very Destructive Christmas.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, he was a late addition. I think Carson was like, let's just throw Jacob in there somehow, right? And I'm like, all right, let me just think of something real quick.
Because we've been wanting to get more than just like me, Nate, and Brandon.
Yeah, 100%.
I think Jack was still finishing his final semester of school, so all we could really get out of him was a voiceover because he was still moving back home.
Yep.
So we thought that we could find some room to make it a little bit more destructive, if you will.
And honestly, you're a great addition. I was thinking about like the movie would not be nearly as good without Santa. So thank you for that. So I was playing Santa, dude, because that was an excellent performance.
As a kid, I was very much a huge believer of Santa. The holidays, Christmas meant so much to me as a kid. We'd go all out. It meant the world to me. Even like one of my favorite videos as a little kid was Elmo Saves Christmas. My father said I probably destroyed that VHS watching it, like I think 5 times in a day sometimes. He's like, oh my God, I cannot hear this video one more time. But so Christmas is so much ingrained in me. I love Christmas. I love the time of year, just everything Christmas. So when he has told me I was going to play Santa Claus, I'm like, I've always like dreamed someday of doing a Santa Claus thing when I'm old, and like it's having done work with charities during Christmas time and being able to help pass out presents. It means the world to be able to help, especially kids, but play Santa, it's like, that's like the coolest role ever. You're freaking Santa Claus. Like,
even if it was for only like 3-5 minutes.
Yeah, you can't get any better than Santa Claus. I mean, that's the coolest character to play, honestly.
Now, not to cut you off, I'm just really dying. I'm dying to know your reaction to when Brandon is standing here, knees quivering, excited as ever to see you walk in the door. Like, how do you meet that?
I love that reaction so much from Brandon because we just kept doing we're like, Brandon, go even crazier. And
I
said Nate and Carson go above and beyond, but Brandon is the MVP of, like, he goes, like, you told Brandon to jump 10 feet, he'll jump 15 feet, like, he goes all in. Mm-hmm. So when he did that,
disclaimer, guys, we're not only saying this because he's not here. We'd say if he was here, and he would totally be like, nah.
Hype my boy up. That's just hype him up. But, like, the reaction, it's like, it's hilarious. I'm like, okay, you can't laugh on camera. Like, it's so hard because some of these scenes where you're filming, you're saying these lines, you're like, okay, I cannot laugh at this scene because some of it's hilarious. I'm like, okay, like, don't laugh. Also, remember your line. Don't bump into the table. Do this. Don't drop this.
And plus the beard's like in your mouth.
Yeah, it's in my mouth. It's like, it's like, oh Jesus, and it's like, but Brandon just in that, and I love this shot where he's like, he pulls the bottle, and like he pulls it out of his pants. Did we think that up on the spot? I think we thought that up on the spot.
Well, we knew we had to get out somewhere. I'm like, man, just pull it out.
I'm gonna grab something real quick. He just whips this bad boy right out. I got a little something for you.
No, that's a great shot.
It was great, and I love the shot of him pouring it. He's like waving, like just taking forever, and it's like just peak. And plus that shot where I'm drunk and Brandon and I are laughing about Mrs. Claus. Nate running by to put the fire out. Oh my God. That's one of the best scenes ever.
That is a very good scene.
I was not in that scene. But I was, like you said, all in one take. I was so proud because we were running on our last fringes of battery life. So that was going to be literally the end of Santa Claus because that was the scene where your character had to go bye-bye, right? And so I was literally standing on this couch right here.
Yep.
And my instruction was to basically, just like capture them talking about Rug's latest invention. And then that's right after Thug and I, as Doug, noticed that the tree in the corner was on fire for some unrevealed reason. And so he just runs past them, grabs the blanket, tries to put it out, and it becomes twice as large. And then, right as soon as he puts it out, Santa's dead.
It's such a good sequence. All one shot. It's so good.
We went over it several times.
Right? It's one take, I think.
We went over it and like storyboarded it several times on the fly, so it's not as though we just completely did a dry run. But I think that says something a lot about just the distance that we've taken, the strides that we've covered since the summertime, when we'd have to do like reshoots, bringing people back for second takes of something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do research. It's always a pain. It's already hard enough getting everyone there in one spot already, so you don't want to do that again.
You all got jobs, things going on, anything pops up sporadically, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, for like our Christmas special, the one thing I liked about it the most was it wasn't too like silly. It like a good Christmas special, especially a comedic one, has to have the right balance of heart and comedy. You know,
and this one definitely does. You're absolutely right.
It really does.
It brings the Destruction Crew together one final time. As you know, it's a follow-up and kind of an epilogue to Street Dude 3, just to wrap up their story, because these characters have grown so much thanks to this guy too at Doug's Donuts. Absolute blast. And he retconned Jumon Pizzeria into the Destruction Crew trilogy, which is hilarious. I love that little detail we did that. So he definitely you know, what's the word?
Well, I guess tied it together is a good way to put it, because for me, I guess just after Street Dude 1, I was thinking about this earlier today, you know, in preparation for this episode. Just the Destruction Crew, they are villains. They are not good guys, but you can't help but love them as a trio.
Yeah, they're not exactly good villains.
You know, they kind of complete each other, and like Thug and Doug, as much as they think like in Street Dude 3 when they're trying to escape on their own, they're really nothing without Rug at the end of the day. No, as much as they, you know, are technically the smarter of the two. I mean, as much as Thug is technically the boss and the leader of the pack.
Yeah.
He couldn't be anything without Doug, vice versa, and neither without Rug.
When I think of those three, I think of the Three Stooges. Yeah,
exactly.
Mo, Larry,
that was kind of the idea.
You miss one, they kind of fall apart. Even though they want to strangle each other sometimes, you need all three of them to pull it off.
Exactly. So I wanted to cap off the Street Dude saga with them, you know, being good, because you know, of course, Street Dude 3 ends with, you know, them hating Rug going on his own. So now this is a good like cap zone for them. It's
and that's kind of the way that Very Destructive Christmas begins, because we're on the run once again. Officer Joe Mamascalo.
Always breaking out of jail somehow.
In the garage, and it's like, man, Rug, we don't need to get in any more trouble. Shut it up. Shut it, Rug. Man, not again. It's like we're still kind of feeling some of that resentment, but we're willing to work past it. And that's playing into the heart aspect that you added before, just allowing that to take a bunch of bad guys, good-for-nothing hoodlums, into a unit that can make the overall product beautiful.
Now, I will say, though, since we are doing a bit of a recap, we did have a major problem with the Very Destructive Christmas, which I think is the biggest reason why it's not doing as well. Audio. So, I mean, anyone knows, you know, every video is half visual, half audio, right? And with our audio, we messed up bad, and that's 100% on me. But in a way, it's a blessing in disguise, because we take that lesson and we improve so much now. We learn so much. We're perfecting our craft, and that's part of the reason why we're even doing a podcast now, because I want to expand more. So I mean, without those audio issues, who knows where we would be?
Yeah, I want to challenge our viewers to pinpoint the moments where we had to do voiceovers because the audio was just so peaky.
Bad, yeah.
And I will tell you though, the peaky audio. I mean, like, anybody likes that overly peaked audio compilations, you guys know what I'm talking about, those types of memes. But there were a couple of takes that we were initially going to use with the audio. I just could not stop laughing at how hilarious it was. It just would have completely ruptured all of your eardrums. That was just the harsh reality of it. And we don't want to do that to our beloved viewers.
And bringing it back, I hate to interrupt, but one of my favorite obviously Santa Claus is not in every single frame in the movie, so I'm helping with camera sometimes.
Yep.
And one of my favorite scenes was we went to Market 32 in Malta, and I've never filmed out in public before. And it's hard, but it's hilarious. So we have to get Carson to get the eggnog and the cookies.
We couldn't find the eggnog.
We could not find the eggnog. So it was hard to find it. But this man right here, Carson, will commit to that bit.
Yeah.
Every single time going doing the Michael Jackson, he like that was.
Oh no, it was so basically what I did, right? When I finally found the eggnog, which was actually right next to pumpkin eggnog, I took a funny photo that, sent it to Nate as a little Pumpkin Man reference, which we'll get to a little bit more. Everything's connected.
Yes.
But when I found the eggnog, I just kind of I did a little woo that sounded like a almost like an MJ reaction that Jacob depicted right there. And so we had to edit that out because, I mean, we wanted to make it more about, like, just the montage rather than, like, the reaction. But I think it just sort of adds a little bit to the joy aspect. It's like, here we are, we're coming together, we're adding the pieces to the puzzle of the perfect Christmas party. Mm-hmm. And the eggnog is the most essential part because, I mean, how are we going to get Santa and Joe Mama on our good sides now?
Santa Claus loves some vodka, I'll say that. He loves to Smirnoff.
I guess he does.
He does.
Not
sponsored.
Talking...
And Nike sponsors too, please. And Batman.
Talking about the montage, Carson, you made 2 covers for this video, which is just insanity. And they're so good. I love it. And
MVP.
Technically original song, kind of. How would you call it? A parody?
It's a parody.
Yeah, a parody. It's so good, dude. I love them.
Well, we were kind of sitting here thinking, I think Jacob kind of gave me the idea because while we were decorating in real time, right, we were playing a whole laundry list of Christmas songs, and we were kind of debating as to which ones that we wanted to use for this Christmas special.
Yeah.
And Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer was one of the first ones that came to mind. I think you brought that one up.
Yeah.
And I just instantly said to myself, Doug Dun got run over by a reindeer. I don't know why, but that just like rolled off the tongue so perfectly. And then I just plugged and played a few lyrics where need be. And I like doing my own trumpet solos, so I just kind of did one that matched the melodic pattern on the second verse.
It's so
and that kind of just allowed us to use that full 2 to 3 minutes to completely transform this whole place. I mean, we didn't want to take the decorations down. We left them up into mid-January.
Yeah, it was very sad taking them down. We actually still have some. Jacob behind you is the freaking nutcrackers.
Yep, and we also got Santa Claus.
And we got the Santa Claus still.
We are bringing out all the stops today. Yes, I love it. But yeah, I was just honestly kind of talking about what you mentioned earlier about loving Christmas. I felt like this movie overall just brightened my Christmas spirit this past year. I mean, there's been several years since my youth where I just have kind of been searching and seeking out that Christmas spirit and haven't really found it. And I feel like this movie kind of restored that for me, among other factors.
I agree. And to back to what you're saying about how we were decorating in real time, one thing I love about our movies is we really do live through our movies. It was kind of like I was saying with Lost when I think about our first episode, how we actually wanted to go to a cabin and actually like live through those movies. That's what that especially just is so fun for us.
Yeah.
So we were quite literally living through the movie by actually decorating, listening to music, having a great time.
Yeah, we have like every single Christmas song imaginable, from old to modern to young and new.
The thing about these movies too is that most movies nowadays feel like they're doing it just for the money, which obviously you need money to make the world go round.
It's the Charlie Brown Christmas theme, right?
Yeah.
Everything's gone commercial. Don't let it. Don't let that get in the way.
When we do the films together, I mean, listen, if YouTube's, monetizes us or whatever, gets us some cash, I ain't gonna complain. But it's so much fun as friends doing these. Like, we'll just sit here and just spitball, like, let's do this, let's do that. What if this will work? It's just so much fun. Yeah. It's like, it makes you just, be a part of that and just do something really special. Hopefully people who see our videos, they could be having a tough time. I've been through really hard times, especially since COVID. It's been a really, really tough time. And if this can lighten someone's day, make them laugh for a few minutes, then we've done a really good thing. That's what I really think.
Yeah. Now, one movie that you weren't exactly a part of, but have definitely grown to know, Jacob, is The Pumpkin Man. We're going to talk about that next,
Pumpkin Man.
Because, of course, it is our most pressing movie, even though it's not
you
our
all.
most recent.
Clearly, you love that movie.
Yeah.
It jumped us. It gained that single video gained us 26 subscribers, which is absolutely insane.
I think it might be more. Don't have an exact count.
It might be
still,
more now.
Keep watching the video. Keep watching it, guys. Keep watching it.
Now, Jacob, what is your favorite part of Pumpkin Man?
I'm trying to think. There's a lot of great parts to it.
I think that's one of the big things we were talking about before. I'll let you narrow it down, but just to kind of build upon that point, right? That movie is just so fast paced. It's like we're never in the same place for more than 30 seconds at a time.
So you have 10 different locations you were saying before. There's literally 10 different places. Like, we're at the pumpkin patch, then we're at literally Carson's house. We're here.
We're outside for the news.
In all sorts of different rooms. Yeah. I forgot about that one. Yeah. I'm literally J.C. Fisher off the clock.
My favorite scene, though, I think is I really like the beginning. That establishing shot is absolutely beautiful. That's why I love Upstate New York. Upstate New York, beautiful, fantastic place. Love New York. But I think the end is perfect. I mean, any good horror movie has to have a good ending. You have to stick the landing. Like in Scream or Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, or even Child's Play, which I love those movies, even though they're really not good movies, but they have to have a fun and good ending. It's got to have a little twist. That's why I love Scream. Like, who is Ghostface? With Pumpkin Man, it's great. Like, okay, who is it? And it's like, oh, it's the suspense throughout the entire. We still don't know yet. The suspense throughout is it's building, and it just made Halloween just perfect. It captured Halloween right in that video.
I agree, yeah. If you're talking about this too, like the vibe and spirit of that movie really captures the whole Halloween spirit really well.
Yeah.
And a little behind the scenes, we'll say. So I said earlier, who is Pumpkin Man? We might find out. But for the movie, all three of us were Pumpkin Man at one point.
Yeah.
I'll challenge you to see what scenes, who was who. I think it's kind of easy, but it's pretty fun that we were all Pumpkin
Man. Or there could
Man
be Pumpkin Men.
There could be Pumpkin Men, you're right.
There could be a species of Pumpkin Men.
We have no idea.
Don't know yet. Could be some interesting stuff going on there.
I gotta shout out my wonderful girlfriend Diana. She was the filmographer for the majority of the film. So
and Rudolph, the best
Rudolph too.
The best reindeer.
She was not one of the Pumpkin Man. That's your hint, guys.
She was not a Pumpkin Man. So yes,
much to her dismay.
Carson, and Brandon were all the Pumpkin Man at one point in the movie. So if you can comment below who was who at what points, we'll give you like bonus points.
And also comment if you made it this far. Comment on the Pumpkin Man comment section the exact timestamp where you can see her SpongeBob socks.
That's a little
Paramount, please sponsor us.
You have so many Easter eggs.
There's another Easter egg on the door as Brand's running out. I think that's a real quick one. So this is so back to what you were saying, Jacob. This is how you know we love what we do. Yeah, because of all this like little detail and all that we put into it.
That was one we kind of added on the fly. This Easter egg. It was kind of just something while we were in between shots or something. Mm-hmm. Somebody just saw an opportunity and made something happen that added just a little bit more to it. You guys probably have no idea what that means. You're not supposed to, right? It's an Easter egg. That's for you to find. But that's just the premise behind it.
Or even like thinking back on these videos, like said, I'm 24, Nate, we're all around the same age.
We're all 24 right now.
I think we're all 24, right?
About to be 25.
Yeah, quarter life crisis incoming.
Jesus. But like said, 50 years from now, when we're all old, I want to look back on these videos and say, I remember filming that. I remember Brandon doing this. I remember Nate doing this. I remember Carson doing this.
We're going to be telling our grandkids.
Yeah, so that's Grandpa right there. Grandpa, you look like a total doofus, fun stuff. And it's like, to inspire people,
That's a huge point, Jacob. And, even my dad, this is before YouTube though, but he made a video with his friends. It was like a funny little ski vlog. Shout out my ski vlog, go watch it.
Yes. Sick opening edits. I still cannot believe it. They get sicker every time I watch them.
He made like a funny little ski vlog with his friends when he was like my age too. So like I think that's a great way to look at it, and I definitely viewed that too. Like one day, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe not 50, years down the line, we can look back at these movies and be like, wow, like these still hold up.
Yeah.
They're still
remember
hilarious.
like the good times,
Exactly.
Remember the good times.
Mm-hmm. Long live YouTube.
And plus a part of us will always exist. This will be beyond us. There might be kids someday who will there are old movies like that inspire me that I look back and you think, Jesus, like none of those people are alive anymore. But their art still exists. Like Gene Kelly, Singing in the Rain, one of my favorite movies of all time. No one in that cast is still alive, but his stuff continues to inspire everyone for generations to come, and if we can somehow do that, that'd be a massive honor.
I think we're on track to do that. So circling back, Carson, what was your favorite scene of the Pumpkin Man?
My favorite scene of the Pumpkin Man, I would say I'm going to go with probably... I just feel like any scene involving Brandon, honestly. My favorite scene is...
Shout out Brandon, we love you.
When Brandon comes out, he stops in front of the car, and then... Because we don't know how Nate... We just saw the last of him was the Pumpkin Man dragging Nate away.
Right.
We don't see where he dragged him to. And then we see him literally hung on a post. And then Brandon just and then the Pumpkin Man comes out and chases him to his eventual death scene. It's like, I just love all the emotion that's captured in
Brandon's perfect at death scenes. He's perfect at it.
That's great. So
and we made it a point, Nate, to have our death scene structured a little bit differently this time.
Yes, you're right. This was a little joke we have. Maybe the reason why Pumpkin Man's doing so well is because Brand actually died last this time instead of usually first. Long-time viewers know Brand always dies first. It's even we said this before. Even in D&D games, he always dies first for whatever reason. So we wanted to purposely change it. Like, okay, Brand, you'll die last time, we promise. And maybe that's why he's doing so well. So maybe we'll try that again. But behind the scenes, back to that scene where I was being hung. I had the idea. I don't know what I was thinking, but I had the idea like maybe be like over like a tree or something.
Yeah.
And then I actually get to Carson's driveway. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
we got nothing here. Shit, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, because the trees were like all on top of our little
like,
concrete wall. We'd have to climb up. It'd be like all in the dirt and mud. And so what we did instead, we have these little platforms that me and my dad use during the springtime for our odd job where we clean and detail boats. My dad kind of started that around 10 years ago. I've kind of been one of his assistants ever since.
Boat boy.
Yeah.
He's a hustler.
Yacht docks. Yacht docks.
Making that cash.
Yacht docks boat detailing out of
Yacht
Lake George, New York. But yeah, we use those platforms, and since obviously we have nothing better to use them for during the fall time, I figured since we couldn't exactly prop Nate up on a tree, Diana was able to get a perspective from below while I could hold it up with the boat rope tied around his neck still. Like,
Yep, exactly. And another thing, I'm sure you'll have noticed, there's a glitch scene in the Pumpkin Man.
Yeah.
Now, usually we keep our glitches for the entity or whatever in our found footage. So why is there in the Pumpkin Man?
I think we're going to have to leave that an open-ended thought as we move forward.
I agree. But I will say the reason why we put that there, our camera went out of focus. So we use that as a map.
But there's always a potential reason for everything.
There always is.
Don't never forget it, guys.
Everything's
always
connected.
an Easter egg. It's all connected.
We do know that Pumpkin Man takes place in the Street Dude universe. Obviously, I dress up as Street Dude, right?
Yeah.
And we do know that Found and Lost are in the same universe because we asked Mayor North about the Lost Kids. So,
J.C. Fisher was on the news delivering a newscast about it. I don't know, just picking your brain.
Just picking your brain.
Jacob, what's one film type of project that you would like to be a part of while we get towards the ending stage of this episode?
Thinking about it, I really love the holiday ones. I think doing a Christmas, Halloween, but I think we should also maybe strive for some of the smaller holidays to do something kind of funny.
Father's Day?
Father's Day.
Maybe Street Dude Jr. Maybe Street Dude's got a son out there.
Street Dude Jr.
Street Dude's got a baby. or we could do three, like, you know the movie Three Men and a Baby? It could be Dog, Rug, and
Doug.
And
The Destruction Crew.
Thug.
Yeah.
The Destruction Crew and a baby. Or something silly. You know, something ridiculous.
That would actually be hilarious. Like, I don't know what what do we do with this?
Or even like an Easter special. Something like a killer Easter bunny and Santa Claus is going to come in and beat him up and show him who's boss.
It's Pumpkin Man's long lost cousin.
Is Santa still dead? That's a huge question.
Poor Rudolph got scarred for life.
Yeah, poor
But
Rudolph.
anything, or even, I love horror. Like horror movies. So might be in Pumpkin Man 2, or we'll have to wait and see, you
That's
know?
actually a good idea. We'll have to see.
You are in Embrace the Mystery. As
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
You are this guy's deputy, so huge role there. Looking forward
Excited.
to
Super
Yes.
psyched. Could be a cop.
Pleasure doing business with you in advance.
that. And yes, I do have an official announcement, boys.
Here we go.
All right. Let's go.
The Pumpkin Man 2, the second carving, is coming. Get ready.
I'm scared, guys.
By
go.
extreme demand, it's coming. And most likely, Jacob will be a role in that movie. Because, of course, it can't be me, Carson, and Brandon again. That'd be the stupidest thing
Because we're
ever.
already dead in that verse.
That would be the stupidest thing ever. Well, Carson could be like...
At least those versions of
OJM
ourselves
or whatever,
in our connected verse. But yes. Definitely get excited for that. This is an unofficial casting call. Pumpkin Man 2.
I have to call my agent first. Let me do that real quick.
I see how it is. He does 2 films with us and already has a talent agent.
I do, yeah.
I think we're going to have to work on that ourselves.
I do too.
We love having guys like you that challenge us to do better, Jacob. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
No
much.
problem.
And thank you so much for joining us for this episode. Anything else you wanted to cover before we say goodnight?
Yeah.
Just say it's been an honor, and I'm so excited to see where we go here. And honestly, doing the podcast, I mean, I love podcasts. They're fantastic. So everyone, please hit like, subscribe.
Yes.
Subscribe to the channel. If there's any ideas you have about future videos you guys like to see, or even suggestions or whatever, please comment down below, okay? And also, Carson's Ben 10 Most Wanted band. Hit these guys up and see them at a show. Fantastic band.
If you guys want to hear me play Doug Dunn Got Run Over by a Reindeer live, can't guarantee that, but you'll hear the inspiration behind the music.
Wait, we got to talk about, was there supposed to be a certain story about how we first met?
That's how we're going to end this.
We're going to end that this way.
All right.
There we go.
This is sort of on the note of music. You mentioned my band, 10 Most Wanted. Well, there is a founder of another local band. His name is Evan Gorey, founded My Prophecy an entire decade ago. A legendary local group
Fantastic
in the alternative emo pop punk scene. They've just been really killing it for 10 years now. And their founder and this guy were on a bit of a turf war back in the day. You know, they didn't exactly have the humblest of beginnings. And I mentioned that one Brandon's birthday party. Well, these two had to be on completely separate arrival and exit points because they just were not good together at that point. This was 6th grade, guys. But since then, it seems like order has been restored. You know, we've grown up. We put that aside. All I knew of Jacob was around 2 hours then, and who would imagine that I'd be making movies with you a full decade later?
I first met this guy, I was like, this guy is crazy, but he's
Great Escape. I went ham at Great Escape Lodge, and I was so upset when Evan bet me that if I lasted 2 minutes on the boogie board, then he'd get me a free Mountain Dew. I've lasted 1 minute and 54. I'm still bitter about that to this day.
Wow.
He's a crazy guy, but has a heart of gold, and he will go to bat for anyone. And I said, just working with you at Mousesplit, you know, doing the track meets.
Yes,
some of the most fun I've ever done.
We did one together. It was
driving that car. Said I wish Carson was my driver. That dude was. I wanted to strangle that guy. That guy was starting to drive me nuts. That dude was not helping.
I was hunkered down by the finish line.
So you guys,
we
please
can go on and on forever about all of our stories through the years, but the story shall continue.
Absolutely. So guys, please hit like, subscribe. Please comment down below.
Yes, sir. You've already heard it. You've already seen it.
And
you
got
every reason to do it. Don't forget to donate to our Patreon as well to help support us in our future endeavors. Nate, you got anything else before we close?
No, I think we're all set here. Jacob, thank you for coming.
No problem. Good to see you guys.
Thank you all for watching, everyone. All right. Later.
Peace.